Hi everyone, let's talk about TNA Final Retribution. This was a great show, in my opinion, guys. Let's talk about it. So we kicked things off with the first time ever single showdown between Cedric Alexander versus Eric Young, which this was a fun match. I'm telling you, with Eric Young and Cedric Alexander, fun match to open the countdown to TNA Final Retribution. Let's talk about it, guys. So Eric Young flies off the top with an elbow drop for two, and Cedric Alexander bounces back with a brainbuster to score the victory, and that's how Cedric Alexander defeated Eric Young, guys, which was a fun match, back and forth, boom, 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 boom. Good stuff, I'm telling you. Then Jis Miller interviews Leon Slater, who's confident ahead of his X Division title defense against AJ Francis, and BDE arrives to support Leon Slater. Then we had the System, Moose and Eddie Edwards, and Brian Myers with Alicia Edwards, Fences C.W. Anderson, and Brock Anderson, and Bear Bronson. This was a fun match, guys, on the countdown to TNA Final Retribution. This was good, in my opinion. Loved it, guys. Let's talk about it. So the System lays out an open challenge for the six-man tag team match as they suit to talent to replace JDC when he was retired this January. I'll say it again, when JDC when he retires this January, and Myers spikes Brunson with a DDT, and CW presents a distraction from the apron, allowing Brunson to deliver a choke bomb to Myers, and Moose hits Brunson with Go to Hell for two, and the System put Brock Anderson away with the System Overload to win, and that's how they won with the Overload, and that's how the System defeated Brock Anderson and C.W. Anderson and Bear Bronson. And that's how what happened right there, guys, with that match, with that six-man match right there, guys. Then, then we had the opener to the main show, guys. Mike Santana faces Charlie Dempsey, which was a fun match. Let's talk about this match, guys, with Charlie Dempsey and Mike Santana. So Mike Santana is out for revenge on the NXT. Charlie Dempsey and the Brawl is out before the opening bell, and Santana bells momentum, then hits the rolling buck 50 for two. Then Charlie Dempsey counters another roll 50 and descends into a bridge German suplex, and Mike Santana pays homage to Eddie Guerrero with the Three Amigos and falls by a frog splash, and Mike Santana hits the spin the block in 1, 2, 3, and that's how Mike Santana defeated Charlie Dempsey right there, guys, and that was a good match to open the show. Then, then during the interview with Jis Miller and Frankie Kazarian promised the victory tonight, the TNA World Title defense against JDC and stuff like that, guys, which we'll talk about that, how that main event happened, guys, and stuff here in a bit. Then we had the Inspiration fences Tessa Blanchard and Victoria Crawford, which this was a fun match, guys. Let's talk about it. So Tessa Blanchard and Victoria Crawford, and since by NXT, Robert Stone challenged the Inspiration for the TNA Knockouts World Titles, and Ash by Elegance joins Tom and Matthew on commentary, and Stone straps up Jesse from the outside, allowing Crawford to take control, and Heather and M by Elegance are seen watching the match backstage, and Fletcher and Crawford target the left knee of Jesse, but she has since breaks free and makes the tag to Jesse in the pass quickly as Cassie, then the pace to quickly as Cassie goes on the attack, and Stone hands one of the title belts to Tessa Blanchard, but Jesse rearms her, and Crawford swings and misses, and it's total chaos as the Elegance brand makes their way to the ringside, and the Inspiration puts Victoria Crawford away with the idol tour to retain, and that's how the Inspiration retain the tag team titles, and that's what happened right there, guys, and that's how they retained the TNA Knockout World Tag Team titles and defeated Tessa Blanchard and Victoria Crawford, and that's what happened right there, guys. Which that was a fun match, in my opinion. In my opinion, guys, like I said again, that was a fun match. and stuff, but it was not my favorite match of the night, but it was a fun match. Then then the updates to TNA's injury report and stuff. And Mike Santana's status is over main after suffering a torn CCL. Then Leon Slater is cleared after suffering a bruising injury, and Dana Luna is out with a conference injury. Oh, sitting in a confusion injury. I'll just say that, guys. Dana Luna's out with a confusion injury, and Matt Cardona is cleared after suffering a concussion. And then we had the director of authority, Santino Marella, asked the official links between the NXT and TNA partnership and Ariana Grace for her help in the outgoing offensions with the NXT Outlaws. Tell me what your guys' thoughts with the NXT and TNA partnership. I love it. In my opinion, I'm loving it right now, and I've been loving it since the beginning, guys, in my opinion. But your questions I will see your comments when I get to them and stuff. So I appreciate everybody that comes and joins, like I always say. So then we had Matt Cardona fences Mans Warner in a street fight. This street fight was fun with Mans Warner and Matt Cardona in this street fight. Let's talk about it, guys. So Matt Cardona and Mans Warner continued their heat rivalry in anything goes street fight, and it essentially doesn't take long before Steph Delalanter gets involved, and she hits Matt Cardona with a trash can, and Warner hits a roll duplex on the steel ramp, and Steph Delalanter sprays an unknown sentence into the eyes of Matt Cardona before Mans Warner puts him through a door with a DDT, and Matt Cardona recovers and hits an apparently here into a chair, and Matt Cardona connects with a AA into a pile of his own action figures, and then Mans Warner misses a screwdriver, allowing Mans. I'll say it again, guys. I'll repeat it again. Matt Cardona connects with an AA into a pile of his own action figures, and Mans Warner misses a screwdriver, allowing Matt Cardona. I'll say it again. Allowing Matt Cardona to score the victory following the radio silent through a door, and that's what happened right there, guys. And I'll say it again, guys. I'll repeat it again. So Matt Cardona, I'll say it again. So Mans Warner misses the screwdriver, allowing Matt Cardona to score the victory, and following the radio silence through the door, and that's what happened, and that's how Matt Cardona won with the radio silence through the door, and that's how he won it and defeated Mans Warner, guys. Then we had an emotional JDC. I'll say it again, guys. I'll repeat it again. You know I talk so fast and stuff, but I'll repeat it again. And an emotional JDC appears to challenge the Frankie Kazarian for the TNA World Title, and JDC wants to face his close friend and ally Eddie Edwards in his final match at Genesis. We'll see that, guys. We'll see Eddie Edwards fences JDC at Genesis. Can't wait for that match, guys. And we'll see the final match of JDC, aka Fandango, and I hope the best for, whatever he does in his life, in the future of his life. He did some fun stuff in wrestling, in my opinion, and that whole funny stuff with the Fandango stuff. And we'll talk about that when, Genesis comes up in a month and stuff. Then we had this match. Lorenzo Stacks fences Steve Macklin. This was good. Even though Lorenzo Stacks won, I'm happy for him. I am so happy for Lorenzo Stacks, I'm telling you. Give it up to him. He's the new TNA International Champion, guys. Give it up to him. Even though he's an NXT talent. I'm telling you, guys. Let's talk about it. So, Steve Macklin fences Lorenzo Stacks. Let's talk about it for the TNA International Championship. Steve Macklin fences Lorenzo Stacks. Let's talk about it, guys. So, the battle between NXT and TNA's continues as Steve Macklin defends the TNA International title against Lorenzo Stacks, and Lexis King admits Stacks to ringside and tries to get involved in a numerous ascensions, and Macklin knocks King off the apron, and Stacks is nearly caught in the cross. I'll say it again, into the cross chair, but Macklin whips out onto the floor, and Macklin takes down both Stacks and King with a SCUD. I'll say it again, with a SCUD, and Steve Macklin hits the jar headbutt, but it's not enough to keep Stacks down, and Steve Macklin neuralized Lexis King once and for all, and Steve Macklin nearly collides with the ref and allowing Lorenzo Stacks to hit him in Lexis King's cane, and Lorenzo Stacks scores the pinfall 1-2-3 and becomes the new international champion. I repeat it again, guys. So Steve Macklin nearly collides with the ref and allowing Lorenzo Stacks to hit him with, Lexis King's cane, and that's what happened right there with Lorenzo. Lorenzo Stacks grabbed, help, Lexis King gave him his cane and then hit him without the referee looking, in him 1-2-3, and that's how Lorenzo Stacks defeated Steve Macklin 1-2-3 and became the new TNA International Champion. Then we had the Hardys bout to remain the TNA World Tag Team Championships, and they would defend against Tyson Tapon and Tyree Inui. I'll just say Tyson and Tyree. I'll say it again, guys. Tyson and Tyree fences the Hardys, talking about the regain the TNA World Tag Team titles and stuff. And then we had Xia Brookside fences Li Yang Lee, aka Xia Li, guys. This was a fun match, I'm telling you. Both friends going at it, the Angel Warriors going at it. This was a good match. Let's talk about it, guys. So, friends, tag team partners, and fellow Angel Warriors collide as Xia Brookside challenged Li Ling Lee for her newly win TNA Knockouts World title, and it's a soulmate in the early going as Lee and Brookside match each other and pace offense, and Brookside leaps off the top with a crossbody, and Brookside hits a broken wing and followed by a side Russian leg sweep for two, and Brookside locks in an octopus, but Lee breaks the free and hits a running knee, and Lee picks her off the top with a superplex, and Lee counters the Brookside bomb, but Brookside hits a tornado DDT instead, and Lee connects with a spinning heel kick and followed by the spinning facebuster 1-2-3, and that's what happened, and wins with the swinging facebuster, and that's how she won and retained the TNA Knockouts World Championship and defeated her friend Xia Brookside. Then after the match, Li Yang Lee and Xia Brookside hug each other in a sense sign of respect, sportsmanship and soulmateship, good stuff. Let's give it up to both women. I'm telling you, that was one of my favorite matches on the show. I'm telling you, that was one of my favorites. In that match with with Lorenzo Stacks and Steve Macklin, that was my favorite match too. One of my favorite matches as well, guys. Even though Lorenzo Stacks won that, and he's an NXT talent, like I said again. So that's what happened right there. Then after an interview with Jiss Miller, and Dana Luna attacks both Lee and Brookside from behind, and India Hartwell joins the fry to fight off, and Luna before security pulled them apart, and that's what happened right there. Then Lorenzo Stacks celebrates his TNA International title victory with the other NXT Outlaws, and that's what happened right there, guys. Then we had this 8-man tag with the Rascals fences the Order 4. This was a fun match with the Rascals fences the Order 4, and the Rascals won this match. I was going with Order 4, but this was a fun match. Let's talk about it. So, top faction collide as the Rascals clash with Order 4 at Final Resolution, and as Xavier takes down Mustafa Ali with a sick dropkick, and Zachary Winch connects the attack with a Bronco Buster into the corner, and I get stuck sometimes. I'm sorry, guys, but I get stuck. But the special agent, I'll say it again, special agent Zero enters the match and quickly gains control for his team, and the ref is distracted, allowing Tessa Stills to attack Zachary Winch from the outside, and Ryan Reed hits flame onto everyone onto the outside, and Mustafa Ali leaves his team high and dry as the Rascals. I'll say it again. As he leaves his team high and dry, Mustafa Ali, as the Rascals to reunite to chop down special. I'll say it again. Special. Never. I'll say it again, guys. Special. I'll just say special Zero and Jason Hutch spears with a top rope moonsault, and Elijah appears out of nowhere and tries to Mustafa Ali to the back of a horse and drags him out of the impact zone, and Trey Manuel spikes Jason Hutch with a destroyer onto the outside, and the Rascals hit John Skyler with a Fury of Ascent offense to score the victory, and that's how the Rascals defeated the Order 4, and that's what happened again, guys, and I'll say it again, the special agent Zero, I'll say it again, I'll repeat it again. The special agent Zero and Jason Hutch stores into the top moonsault, and Elijah appears out of nowhere and trying to Mustafa Ali to the out of a horse and dragging him outside of the impact zone, and Trey Manuel spikes Hutch with a destroyer onto the outside, and the Rascals hit John Skyler with a Fury of Ascent offense to score the victory, and that's how they won, and that's how the Rascals won and defeated the Order 4. I'll say it again. That's how the Rascals defeated the Order 4, and that's what happened right there, guys. And Ryan Reed and Trey Manuel and Zachary Wentz and a Savior defeated Order 4, John Skyler and Mustafa Ali and Jason Hutch and Special Agent Zero with Tessa Steeles, and that's what happened right there, guys. Then we had the Hardys versus Tyson and Tari. Let's talk about it, guys. This match was good, I'm telling you. Oh, man, I'm telling you. Let's talk about it. The TNA World Tag Team titles are up for grab between the Hardys and the NXT Tyson and Tyree before the match begins, and a message appears on the screen. Though God Walk appears, Morals and Tyson and Kyrie attack the Hardys from behind to gain the early advantage, and Jeff creates separation and makes the tag to Matt, and who plants both of his opponents with a pair of side effect, and Matt hits Tyree with a superplex, but Tyson catches him with a big splash, and Jeff flies with a suicide bomb to Tyson and then scores for the 1-2-3, and that's how the Hardys retain. And I'll say it again, that's how the Hardys retain and defeated Tyson and Tyree and retain the TNA World titles with the suicide bomb to Tyson and 1-2-3, and that's what happened, and that's how the Hardys retained the TNA World Tag Team titles and defeated Tyson and Tyree. Then after the match, the lights go out, and the Righteous have arrived at TNA, and Vincent and Dutch go face to face with the Hardys. I can't wait for the Righteous in TNA. I'm telling you, it's going to be good things for the Righteous in TNA. I can't wait, man. I hope they get used, and I hope for the best, and my mind thinks they're going to be used right. We'll see what happens, but we'll see what happens with the Righteous in TNA. I hope they do, and I hope they have a good run. Then we had Eric Young says that he will cleanly I'll say again, cleans the risk from TNA's wrestling. I'll say it again, guys. Eric Young says that he will clean the disease from TNA wrestling. Then we had Leon Slater versus AJ Francis for the TNA X Division title, guys. Oh, this match was good. This was one of my favorite matches on the show too. This match was one of my favorites. I'm telling you, this match was great with Leon Slater versus AJ Francis. Let's talk about it. Leon Slater puts the TNA X Division title on the line against AJ Francis of the First Class, and Leon Slater goes for a handspring, but Francis swats him out of midair with an open plum strike, and AJ Francis hits the Tennessee Whiskey into the corner, then grounds Slater with a submission offense, and Slater hits an Ascent Blue Thunder bomb, and Francis goes low on Slater while the ref finishes Ascent BTE stops, and AJ Francis uses I'll say it again, AJ Francis from using a steel chair, and Francis plants BTE with the down payment with a GoPro camera in his hand. Then Leon Slater flies off the ring post with a big place Slater counters a moonsault with a super kick. Then Rick Swan slides a steel chair into the ring, but it's just a distraction so that AJ Francis can drill Leon Slater with the X Division title, and it's not enough to keep him down. In a frustration, AJ Francis tries to get Rick Swan to do his dirty work, and Rick Swan refuses and hits AJ Francis with the X Division title, and Leon Slater puts him away with the Suicide 450 1-2-3, and that's how Leon Slater retained the X Division title for the 450 1-2-3 and defeated AJ Francis. Then Dana Luna and Indy Hartwell settle the score in a dog killer match, which we'll talk about that, guys. That main event was good last week and all of that stuff about a week ago or two, which we'll talk about that later on. And then I'll say it again. Ryan Nemeth. I'll say it again. Ryan Nemeth reminds the world that his big brother Nick Nemeth can call his shot gauntlet for the TNA World Title opportunity anytime he wants. And Nemeth insults. I'll say it again, guys. Nemeth insults Maurice Nade. I'll say it again, guys. Nemeth insults Maurice Nade. Mariah Made, Shakira Jackson. I'll just say that Shakira Jackson, who makes him pay, and another super kick. Then we had the main event, guys. Then we had the main event with Frankie Kazarian versus JDC. Let's talk about it, guys. And Frankie Kazarian retained the TNA World Title, and I hope Mike Santana gets the title back at Genesis, and we'll see that at Genesis. Mike Santana is facing Frankie Kazarian, and I hope he regains that TNA World Title. We'll see what happens in Genesis in a month, so we'll see what happens. But let's talk about this match. Before he retires from in-ring competition this January, JDC looks to dethrone Frankie Kazarian and become the TNA World Champion for the first time, and JDC has Frankie Kazarian railing in the early going as he chases him up the ramp, and Frankie Kazarian hits an arm drag on the exposed stage as he ascends to win the match by countout. And back at ringside, Frankie Kazarian sends JDC's left knee into the steel ring steps, and JDC, I'll say again, JDC, what I'm trying to say, guys, I get stuck a lot. JDC builds momentum. I'll say again, JDC builds momentum. JDC builds momentum with a furious offense and leaping over the top to take out Frankie Kazarian onto the floor, and momentum later, and Frankie Kazarian catches him with a slingshot cutter for two, and Frankie Kazarian tries to use the title as a weapon, but JDC rolls him up for another near fall, and JDC officially whips Frankie Kazarian into the ref, and JDC has the match win following the airbrush crush, but there's no referee to make the count, and JDC misses down and dirty, and Frankie Kazarian hits the slingshot leg drop, but it's still not enough, and Frankie Kazarian locks the chicken swing, and JDC passes out, and that's how he won, and that's how Frankie Kazarian won with the chicken swing, and JDC passed out, and that's what happened right there, guys. Then after the match, the NXT Outlaw hit the ring and attacked the system, and Lexis King is about to light the TNA logo on fire, which was crazy. I thought that was going to happen. That would have been crazy. That when Steve Maclin and Mike Santana, then the Hardys make the save for TNA, and the security and authority of, I'm saying again, security and authority, Santino Marella, I'll say again, guys, I'm trying to say, guys, security, I'll say it again, I almost said social. I mean to say security and authority. I'll say it again, security and director of authority. Santino Marella tries to separate them and stacks to knock out Santino of his own father-in-law with a right hand, and that's what happened right there, which was crazy, guys. With Lorenzo Stacks knocking off Santino, went off the air, and that's what happened right there, guys. And it was a very good show, and I gave this show a 9 out of 10, guys. And I'll say it again, guys. So the director of authority, Santino Marella, tries to separate them, and Lorenzo Stacks knocks out Santino Marella and his own father-in-law and with a right hand, and that's what happened right there, guys. And I'm sorry for saying social, but I talk really fast and all of that. So yes, guys, I give this TNA Final Retribution a 9 out of 10. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit those notification bells as always, guys. And this is Christopher Jackson Denver 2006, CJD 2006. Also, again, guys, this is CJD 2006. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit those notification bells as always, guys. And this is Christopher Jackson Denver 2006. And we're out. Peace out and much love. And peace out and take care, guys, and much love.